We're not going to have anybody, but that's okay.
It's fine. It'll just be us. Should we just jump right into it? No leeway.
Do it.
Perfect. Okay. Well, hello, everyone. We are jumping into the very last of our 4-part webinar series. I will give you full disclaimer. We are in the throes of summer, which I think we knew when we scheduled these every 2 weeks that this was going to be the tough one because I'm in 11 days of events in 17 days. Madeline, what are you in right now?
I don't have a count on that.
Full go mode.
Yeah, full go mode. Lots of projects all at once.
Yes, lots of projects going on right now. So you guys are getting us. We're gonna wing this 110%. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We do have notes that we're gonna go off of, but the big one for today is that my name is Katie with Western Insights Media, and we are marketing in a fractional CMO format, and that means that we can either jump in and do everything if you don't have a marketing department for your company or your organization or association or event. We come in and be the marketing company for you. Or we can come in and provide value to a smaller marketing team that you have in like a case by case, like a campaign that you're doing, a convention, influencer campaign, a product launch, or anything like that. So we have a lot of fun because we have to come in and do all the things. I tell my friends, and people always complain about their jobs. I actually, like, I have weird things I can tell you about, or like weird complaints. But I don't have anything to complain about my job. I love it so much. I love marketing. I love people, I love behavioral economics. So it's always so much fun. But that's a little bit about myself. My name's Katie. I don't know if I even said that yet, but Western Insights Media is my company.
I'm Madeline, and I'm the branded Maverick. So just like Katie, I get to help help with marketing and also projects for different clients. And so Katie and I have known each other for a while, but we both have just found joy in reconnecting in the last year, just sharing like some of our experiences with different clients and helping each other grow as well. And so that's kind of what generated this idea to have webinars, is that, we're all in this together. We can help each other out. And hopefully you guys have gained some knowledge or been able to try some of the things that we've shared over the last 4 webinars now. So
she's kind of lying a little bit though too, because she asked if I could do her conference that she was running and speak about this topic of AI tools for marketing. And I was like, absolutely. Cause I was like, I have this client that I normally have an event at that time of year, but they haven't said anything yet. So maybe they went a different direction. And I think it was like a month later and they were like, we're back. And I was like, oh no. So Madeline actually jumped in and like helped me. And we both have been giving this presentation a couple different times. And we might be giving it again here in January. So we'll keep you guys updated if we're gonna be doing that. Maybe we'll do one virtual. You guys can join in for that, just to recap, because there's so many other tools that like we haven't even discussed. Like I use Grammarly all the time, like for help with my writing and how to use words, things like that. Like there's so many different little AI tools that you can use to make your life a little bit easier. So if there's ever any point in these that you're thinking of, like we could definitely put another webinar series together after the summer run, back in the fall, and go over some more information. But today is all things email marketing, and I really love email marketing, which I think is hit or miss. Like I don't know, like there's definitely different things that like different marketers like enjoy a lot and some that don't. I love the strategy behind email marketing. And I think like I don't know about when you were in school, Madeline, but like for me, my new media is so like my second degree is new media communications, which is now digital communication arts. And they knew so little about this new world of social media that like I think we mostly took history classes in regards to media, some screenwriting classes, but like we did not do like what's your Pinterest strategy? Or like we didn't do any of that strategic communications, or we didn't do any like digital marketing that we would know now today. Like that's all been stuff I've learned in continuing education. But like with that being said, the hardest thing every single class impressed into me was, I think they call it the black box theory. And it's that someone has control of the interwebs, and at any point in time, like all the social medias, and at any point in time, they can flip a switch and they would all go away. So when TikTok did the thing, I'll tell you what, I was like, I've been trained for this my whole life. It was gone for like 2 days, 48 hours. And I was like, yep, black box, someone flipped the switch. So anyway, Email marketing is where that comes into play, and I can tell some funny stories about like how I've used email marketing in regards to like social media chaos. Like Facebook went down one time, so I emailed everybody in our list and was like, just for you, you can get this discount on tickets right now because they won't even know on Facebook. And it was just fun, like this fun things like that. But that's why I'm a big fan of email marketing. And you own your list. Like that's the thing. Like when you have a Facebook page or if you have an Instagram page, you are building on somebody else's real estate and you're kind of at their mercy. Like they can change the rules on you. We always complain in regards to algorithm, but they can change the rules on you at any point in time. And that kind of sucks, to be honest. I don't know if you have any additions on that, Madeline.
No, that's, I mean, 100%. Like, I think a lot of people maybe don't know or don't understand that you don't actually own what you share on those social mediums. So,
Yeah.
um, that's one thing I try to remind people is that, you know, building lists can be a lifesaver. And you provided a perfect example of that. So, whether it's an email list or a text based marketing list, anything like that, like I encourage everyone to build lists because you never know when you're not going to have a direct line to your audience. And I
Yeah.
encourage you to own your own digital footprint.
Yeah, that's the scary part. Like I'll always say you need to have your own website. I don't care if you have Facebook or an Instagram, like you have to have a website, you have to own it. Even if it's just a digital business card. Like it's just one page. Like there's no multiple pages, just your name, your address if you're brick or mortar store, your email, your phone number, like whatever it is, some sort of validity to it. You got to have a website. And with that, you got to have your email list. And everything that we do, like all the people that are in these groups. Oh, go ahead, Madeline.
No, you're
Oh.
good. You're probably on the same line I was. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like we're actually everybody who like this webinar is targeted at just by nature of like where we gave these presentations, who's already following us on social media and what you do. You're probably a luxury guest ranch or a dude ranch. You're probably a membership based natural resources organization. You're probably a rodeo, or you're an event or a nonprofit. Well, you're already building email lists from your members, your volunteers, and your ticket buyers. So like and your donors, like you've already got people that you're building up. And I mean, this is probably something I didn't even think about putting this on the list, but we can send some email, like an email out with some information out with it's GDSP. Is that the acronym? With like email lists and stuff about how like you can't just like go pirate. You can't go like pirate names off of a website and just take everybody that's at wilcofarmstore.com and put them into your email list. It's actually illegal. You can't do that. You have to actually have people opt into your email list. And so usually that's in trade with a purchasing a ticket or your membership. And I mean, a lot of people become members to an organization because they want the emails. So just keep that in mind. And we've all been consumers. So when you buy something, it's like, do you want to get emails about this product? Check yes or no. It's like that kind of thing. So there's lots of fun with emails.
Yes. Um, we've kind of covered it, but it's for sure a cost effective way that you can reach a fairly large audience. Like you said, they opt into that. So you know that they want to hear from you, which is a plus. You're not just totally shooting in the dark there, right?
Mhm.
And then it's a great way to build relationships that leads to driving your sales, increasing brand awareness. I think emails can be used for so many different things that they're really just an invaluable asset to have when it comes to your marketing plan. And so, if you have a strategic campaign, which we're going to look at today, and the different ways that you can use these email marketing, um, really, I think it's one of the ones that you see the biggest ROI on
Yes.
when it comes to email marketing.
And
So,
like I was gonna add some weight into that statement right there is that a couple like I think 6 or 7 months ago, a really I would almost call them mainstream Western clothing brand as a denim company posted a job on Of the West, which is a great place to go if you're looking for Western jobs. And they posted email marketing specialists for $40,000 a year. And all my friends lost their mind. And I was like, no, like think about it though, guys, because at $40,000 a year, it's about 3,300 a month. And if you think about it, like even just the price of like a pair of jeans for them retails like 150, right? So That's selling 22 pairs of jeans. Well, if their email list is as big as you probably would guess it would be, big, maybe 200. I'm being attacked by a cat. This is Lainey. She just wants to be here today. Um, so even at like 200,000 people on their list, right? If they needed 22 people to sell or like to buy, that's like less than 1% purchasing off the emails. One email sent to all of them. So when you think about that conversion, like there's some numbers to back it up, I guess.
There are. It's 100%. That's a great example too, because I think if you're looking at nonprofits, they say the industry and like standard is somewhere around $30 for every $1 spent. So it's a huge return on investment. And honestly, even though it can be daunting, um, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it if you have a game plan. So we're going to show you how to do that.
100%. And so the first thing to do is like talk a little bit about platforms. So there is some free options out there and there are some paid options out there. We are not endorsed by anybody, but I do have a referral code for Flodesk. So like take that how you will. Like that's my full disclaimer on that. Like I believe in it so much. I have a referral code. But with that, like I always make jokes. I'm like, there's no faster way to kill your passion for email marketing or honestly just a great campaign to kill your email marketing. Amazon might be here. My dog is barking behind me. There's no faster way to kill it than Constant Contact or MailChimp, in my opinion. Like those are two. Actually, I might have a third one. That's a new one. I just got a new one that's more hospitality based. But like, there's no faster way to kill your creativity than with a really bad email platform. And a bad email platform, in my opinion, is something that is clunky, hard to navigate when you're building it. That makes you actually feel like you're just spending hours building something when you're like, I already know the content. We've already written a blog or it's already on the website. Don't fall for the MailChimp route. Like we were laughing. My old tabs are locked on my computer for some reason right now, and MailChimp's one of the tabs. I'm like, I remember the days of MailChimp, but there's way better options. And at $450 a year with no restrictions on followers, like numbers, because a lot of the platforms will charge you based off of how many people are in your email list. And like, first off, I don't want anyone to be punished for building your list bigger. And I don't want anyone punished for like the number of sends you do, like whether you're sending one email or 20 emails a month. I feel like it should just be the same flat rate. And that's why I like Flodesk. It's easy to use. It's pretty, it's not MailChimp. It's not Constant Contact. And you do everything else that you need with it.
For sure. And don't panic if you use MailChimp because it's really easy to transfer stuff over if you decide to check out Flodesk. But we're going to show you what it looks like. We're going to do a case study today, show you what that looks like. I can say personally, I've had clients that use MailChimp. Again, not my favorite either.
But it's
And
doable.
it's doable. But like Katie said, as you grow, you do end up paying a lot more and it is expensive. So I think you guys will probably enjoy how Flodesk works and how it treats your wallet. So with that said, let's talk about the different kind of content that we can make with our email marketing.
Absolutely. Do you want to maybe share? Like, I know we have like a couple different like styles of emails in our list and stuff, but like, what are some emails that you use like routinely? Like, what are the last sets of, and maybe I should specify from the beginning. When we say emails, we mean email marketing. We're not like, Dear Madeline, today we'll be doing a webinar. It's not those one-on-one emails. This is like coming from a marketing software base to a group of people.
For sure. So one, it kind of I think of it as like kind of tracking your customer journey, right? So like when they first sign up, what do you expect to get? Like every single one of us have signed up for an email. And so usually when you sign up, you're instantly going to get kind of like a welcome series
Mhm.
style email. So this is going
You
to
may not
introduce
know
you
this.
to the
You may be
brand.
learning this right now, actually.
Yeah, so you're gonna usually if you're shopping, it's bringing you in with a discount code or something, right? But you're usually gonna get kind of like a welcome series. Maybe that's like 3 to 5 emails or something like that. But this is where you're introducing your brand, you're connecting with that audience. So kind of setting the expectations for them and what they should expect as they get to know you as a brand, whatever that might be. So that's going to be like a welcome. Thanks for joining us. Short, easy email. This is what you can expect every Wednesday or whenever you send that out. Um, you're going to send, this is going to be automated, right? So then there's going to be one that's like sharing your story. What's your background? Like, why are you here? What's your purpose, right? Um, best resources, freebies are always a great option in those welcome emails. Um, a lot of time, depending on what you're selling, you can do testimonials or social proof and share that in an email. It's a great way to drive people to follow you on social media too, if they don't already. And then I typically suggest in a wrap up welcome email to have like a clear call to action. So, like, hey, stick with us every Tuesday at 7 a.m. You're going to get something in your inbox, and um, don't miss out on it, because if you do, it's going to be a bummer. So I usually like to start with welcome series, and from there, um, you can kind of get into your content pillars where you see the consistent emails come in.
Yeah, and I try to format mine, and this is so funny to me. I format newsletters for clients the same way I format podcasts for clients, and typically, and they could be your content pillars, might be the easiest way of saying it, or a target audience, depending on how you want to look at it. But I basically make a template, like an a B, and a C, and I'm like A, B, C every single month, right? Like, and that's what it'll look like. And like my A could be we have one person right now doing a like around the ranch, right? So it's just a roundup of photos that everyone drops into a shared photo album, and I go through it and I pick it out, and I'm like, hey, you added this in. And can you add in iPhones? You can add like captions in, basically, so I can get some stories about like who's where and whatever. Everyone knows the rules. If you post pictures in there, they can go out to the public, and so like that's a good one too. It could be your, like, for me, the B, segmenting is getting really big now. If you're a consumer, you love segmenting. You don't know it yet, probably, but you do. So for me, the B is segmenting, and then C can be like one off, even, right? So A, B, C is like my thing. So like C is specifically going for something that's happening that month or the next month. And it's very specific. Like maybe you have a golf course that reaches people internationally, but you're hosting a very small high school meetup fundraiser reunion night. So that one off is going to be like that email that you're sending out in regards to like information for that. And so I think that that's like always fun. And I know that like Madeline has some really good numbers. I love the numbers on it. So she had put down 60% for educational content, 20% behind the scenes, and 20% for promotional, for like, that could be like your A, right? Or like for, if the A is that around the ranch newsletter, it could be like 60% around the ranch, 20% could be a feature of a staff member, like get to know the people behind it. And then the rest could be upcoming sales, right? You could put those at the bottom, or sponsor representation or anything like that. And then your B, that could be segmented out to just the golfers. If you have like or just the Thursday night ticket holders, or just the locals who hold tickets for your rodeo, or like whatever it may be. So it's just fun to map all of that out, and we have a template that we'll be sending you guys as part of your freebies. And this is the template that I use, and it says very much drag and drop and play, which is really nice. And I can map out 3 months at a time and do it with a team. That's my favorite part. And maybe there's some art with that, and maybe this is a little bit of a tangent, but like you can sit with your team and talk about the next few months and actually build out what would be perfect content for your email newsletters there, as well as know your sales cycle. When you need to put tickets on sale, how that's going to start warning people. I love putting like little caveats, like mobile app download coming soon. Save the date for the tickets to go on sale. So that way, I love giving people the first chance to know everything in the emails. Like that is like, it's their reward for being in the emails and for opening them up.
100%. I could not agree more. If you're an email subscriber, you should get something special. That is like, that's why you signed up, right? So,
Yeah.
um, so those are kind of, both Katie and I are pretty similar as far as, like I said, content pillars, um, or topics that you kind of use to guide yourself on. And from there, you get into your content planning and like what that strategy looks like. Um, we we did get some feedback, and we learned that a lot of times, which I totally get this, like it's very overwhelming, because you're like, there's so many emails in a year, right? Like, how do I plan that out, Katie?
Right. So that's where I have a spreadsheet here. Oh, 2 seconds. I knew it was going to log me out right when I did this. So let me jump back in here real quick. Oop.
It's okay. While Katie's pulling that up, though, just some tips as far as content planning. Like, one, we've talked about this before. batch content creation. Like, you're going to save yourself so much time if you can knock out 4 to 6 emails at once. And you're going to see when Katie logs in here how you can do that with her planning program. I mean, like she said, you guys are going to get a freebie. Another thing is when you're content planning your social media, it's a great opportunity to tie in your emails. So how can you repurpose social media for your email? You obviously want it to be different enough that it's something special for those who did subscribe, but you can do it. You can use ChatGPT or Claude to help you with that. And you guys can always go back and rewatch that on this channel if you want to learn about how to use those tools. Um,
And I do love using like Claude and ChatGPT in regards to like you can put all your content in there and then like the dates and everything, like when do tickets go on sale or when does this campaign gonna happen? When do I want to do giveaways? And you can ask it to fill in the blanks for you. So I do that a lot where like I'll put it all in instead of making it do it for you because again, Madeline made a comment that she was like, hey, like during that webinar, she was like, hey, don't use the first answer it gives you because it's the first answer it's giving everybody. And so what I try to do with that is I try to put all of my own thought process into it and then ask it to find the holes or the gaps and it helps to like train your brain to catch them too, but then be like give me like a general structure feedback of like what this looks like. And so you can build something like this pretty easily. So this is one of my clients and that we do a lot of emails for. You can see I think there's what here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 16 17 18 19 20 emails between now and August 3rd, so basically the first weekend in August. That's a decent amount. That's just June, July for the most part. That's 60 days. That's how many emails we're sending out, which sounds like a lot. But on your template that you'll have an overview dashboard of like what you're looking for, like what's the consistency look like. And that's for standard is what I say. It goes to everybody. And then the target goes to like who your different like segments are going to be. So these are my emails for all of my standard emails. And so in this template, I try to build out, this doesn't sound so funny, but I put in all my goals and then I have chat assist me in, or Claude assist me actually, because I do, so I use chat for more chat GBT for like analytical pieces. And then I use Claude for more human elements. And I would say that email newsletters are human elements. Now, if you guys are working for a brand, something that I've done in the past that's worked really well is have them send you voice notes. Like if you're working and you have like someone who's kind of a voice of your organization or your business, have them send you voice notes because you can actually use it to help you write in the way that they speak. And I think that that helps resonate with the audience a lot better. So I use it to help, I use Claude to help me make my different subject lines. So I put the date that they're going to go out and the subject line. I don't worry about the time because I actually use Flodesk that has an AI that tells you when most people open their emails for you, like for your audience base. And so with that, I just schedule it for the time that they suggest. So what you do from there is I put in anything that's kind of happening or items that I want to revisit to a deeper level. So this would be like teasing, this is a music festival. So teasing the main stage artists. And I identified who was the artist that was the most like popular for the headliners to go in there. And then over here, you can do drop downs and click whichever ones apply to it. And then this is where you can have like your team help you, where you can put links in here to like the Canva graphic that you're going to use or the folder if they're uploading photos for you. So we wanted to promote the upcoming stops for our dance tour. We had announced one of our MCs for the event. So I wanted to put the link in the photo in for her and then introduce our Tune It Up Tuesday, which is the Battle of the Bands. So this is actually a blog and a graphic and some writing as well. And then the upcoming barbecue event that we had. So just that's the copy for it, no photo. And everything in here has a link. And I'll tell you guys more about that, like why later with the strategy. But as you can see here, I've already done all of these emails. Now, as we get further along, you'll see that these don't have as much detail in them. And that's because I'm going to see how things do, how our social calendar is going. If anything changes, I don't want to have to go back and recreate the wheel. But this, as like a marketing director, sets you up really well for the rest of your team to potentially delegate it off and go to the next part. Also, I'm not on the main screen. So if Madeline tries to jump at any point, just scream loudly. I kind of feel like I might be by myself. I don't know if I am.
Nope, you're good. You're good.
Perfect. Okay, good. I don't know if you do anything like this, Madeline, when you do your stuff, or some people just don't do that many emails. A lot of like, I honestly feel like if you don't need to do a lot of emails, like one a month is fine.
Yeah, mine is very similar. It's just a list that I share in a Google Drive with different clients. And so I'll let them
Mhm.
go ahead and share some of their ideas or some of their goals. And then we'll go through and, kind of comb through, fine tune those a little bit. But same kind of thing. We got check boxes, make sure we're hitting all the marks, all the important dates and things that we need to promote. Uh, but this is a great way to kind of organize your thoughts. If you're like, organize my thoughts before I can just jump in and write an email. Um, and then
Yes.
from there, you can start building your template.
Yeah, and this is where I also build my segments out. So I built my first one of all my segments that were already made. So like if you're working with a client or working with a board of directors, you can have them like you can batch work. Again, we talked about batch working and doing a bunch at once. So I would do like one of each to start, and then that way your board can tweak or get approvals, whatever you may need to set and go. And then from there, like I'll batch work this weekend probably and do the rest of these. And then all of these segments will be done through June. And then probably the week after that, I'll do all these segments. And this is for micro press releases for radio stations. And then we just have a few here for our Stompy competitors. They do most of their own. They'll do most of their own email stuff, correspondence on their own. I just want to send like overarching about the event because we host their finals at our event. So I just want to make sure we're all coordinated there. And then what I can also do, let me share. I think I have to share multiple screens to get there, but I could show you guys right now. I'm going to show. Do you think it's a good time, Madeline, if I show like from the spreadsheet to the final product?
Yeah, let's show them what that looks like, and then we can kind of show them the journey to get there.
Yeah, let me jump in. Okay, so this is going to be wild because I'm going to be sharing multiple screens. What's the best way? Okay, I think I'm going to do it this way, but I'm going to flip these two. So the screen might be really small here on the bottom right. So I will zoom in on the spreadsheet just a bunch more. Let's see what that looks like. A little bit better. I don't even know if you guys can read that, to be honest. I don't know if it's blurry. But with that, so in our eBlast schedule, let me grab the standard. Let's go that original standard one. Let me see if that show. Nope, it did not show. See, I have to share each tab individually because the webinars don't love us. Okay, here we go. All right. So, 2 seconds. Perfect. Okay. So in our like spreadsheet template, our standard email had the tease the main artist. And so I looked to see who was doing the most popular on social media. And so I pulled a little bit more information and knew that clickbait wise, Mr. Clay Walker, the love of my life, celebrity crush, would probably be the best. Maybe I'm just biased, I don't know. But what I did here is I have a button that goes to the pit passes. One of the things I love about Flodesk is the ability to create segments off of what you're already doing. So when someone clicks this pit pass here, it takes them to buy a pit pass. Internally in my email software with Flodesk, it's actually already putting them into a workflow that's going to upsell them into a 3-day pit pass program. Does it work? Depends on the year. You got to look at the different conversions, but it's definitely worth a try. Then the second part, if you look at our original eBlast schedule, is to jump into the weekend event, which is the barbecue competition. So that was just copy. So all of that's in there. And then we have the smoke show, Stadium Smoke Show schedule here. When you click that, it automatically puts you into another email blast. What that email blast is going to do is send you day of details for that smoke show event. You guys are just going to notice a trend here as we go through the whole thing. Then we had a little blurb about the Tune It Up Tuesdays. So we actually have a blog. Learn more about Tuesdays. That's if you click that, it takes you there. Guess what it does? Puts you into the Tuesdays email blast as well. So I only send 2 of these bulk emails a month, right, to everybody. So this goes to 32,000 plus people and growing daily. So what happens here is when you go into that Tune It Up Tuesday, you join about 1,800 people in that segment list. And then if you guys remember on the um, I'll move this over here. If you remember over here on our segmented Tuesday, we actually sent these June 2nd, June 9th, June 16th, June 24th, right? So if you clicked on that, that's probably something that you're interested in maybe going to. So then once you do that, you're going to get more information weekly on those Tuesdays events because you clicked on it. And that's worked really well for us because at the end of the day, your ultimate goal is to have the highest open rate and the highest click rate that you possibly can. Like that is the name of the game when it comes to emails. And that's why I said we're all a fan of segmentation because finding out that we have a veteran, an 8-year veteran of the military playing in our Battle of the Bands and our first female competitor is, I think that got opened 88% out of that 1,800. So you're already
Wow.
looking at great numbers there, right? That you would not have, right? Even if that 1,800 opened it out of the 32,000, that's a 6% open rate, right? But 1,800 times 0.8, like that's 1,400 people that opened it out of 1,800. Like that's really good. That's really good numbers. Like you want to be, I mean, I actually didn't pull up the actual like average numbers because every time I see them, they're so low. Like the average goal for emails is like so low. Like my goal is to always beat it.
For sure. I want to say like industry standard for opens is in like the 20 some percent. Does that sound right?
I actually think it's like the teens. I'm gonna have to
Is
look it
it?
up. I'm looking it up.
It's
While
been a
we're
second since I've looked at it.
It's always lower than I think. So here we go.
Yeah.
What is the industry average open for emails? 15 and 25%. We were
Okay.
both right.
Yeah. So obviously that depends what kind of industry you're in, but for in general in email marketing, that's kind of an average. But uh,
It does say skewed because of confirmation emails.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, confirmation emails are typically between 30 to 40% and will skew your rates higher.
But so this, maybe you'll show us here in a second, Katie, but like the really cool thing about Flodesk when we get into it is you guys are looking at this and how kind of the starting stage to the final stage, what that looks like. My understanding is that Flodesk is really nice because you can easily customize it.
Yes. Let me pull up the right screen and we can talk about building.
And
You know what? I do need to build these emails. Maybe you guys can just join me as we build a Tune It Up Tuesday
yeah,
email.
and we can kind of talk about, what kind of smart scheduling looks like too, if you want to, what would you?
Yeah, yeah. So I was going to show here this one real quick. And when I say real quick, it's never real quick with the webinar platform because it opens it and pops it into a different tab, and then I have to come back, share my screen, grab the right one. Okay. Whoop, and then it's live, and then I gotta find it on my sheet, and then make it so you guys can see it. Here we go. The thing with emails is they can all be different. So like you guys just looked at a very elaborate one, right? The color branding was all there, all the different pieces. Now this is a very simple one, and you might be laughing about it. This is actually, I call them micro PRs. These are my micro digital press releases, and they go out to my radio stations, influencers, and anyone who like MCs, like anybody who may be just casually talking about the event. This list is like literally like 18 people. It's not very big. And so I keep it pretty short and sweet. And so your emails don't have to be super fancy. So to these people specifically, they don't need to be marketed to. Like my call to action is I want them to know, which is like so it's educational. And so with that, like it is literally bullet points, right? This is me just telling them what's going on, what's happening, gives them the power to talk about it a little bit more if they're live on air or if they're doing their own podcast or if they're talking on their social media. It just gives them a little bit more empowerment and some statement lines that they can use. These are my micro PRs, and I highly recommend that if you have any sort of rodeo or any business, to start building a little list like that you can share with your influencers or share with like your local community news or anything like that. So All of these can be super, I don't know, like they don't have to be crazy fancy, but Flodesk does make it easier for that. So let me get one prepped up here to share with you all to build. What should we build, Madeline? What do you think? What would be the best one?
Um, I don't know. Do you
Do you
want
want
to
to do
pull one of the ones that you have?
it? Yeah, we could do that. Maybe I want to do. Sorry, I'm like cross referencing my standard list here. June 18th. Okay. I might have to share multiple screens here. So, Madeline, just yell at me if I start talking and we're not on the right screen. So, this is your Flodesk homepage. And so, just to kind of go over some basics for it, and we won't go deep into it right now, but you have your forms. And this is where like you can have, we were actually kind of laughing about this. I'm 99% sure I figured out where they were, but these are like your conversion rates on your forms to sign up for your email. And for us, like you can see, this is a lot of visitors, right? So this is the pop-up that shows up on our website, which we call our fans the Jam fans. And then this one right here is a more curated one, I believe, on a specific landing page. I think this has to do with volunteers. So you can see that the numbers are totally different. There's a lot less visitors, but they're created at the same time. So, but this one has a huge opt-in rate, like compared to this one, and that has to do with basically putting it into a place for selection for it. So it's just always fun to have different forms. Now, if I was logged into my Western Insights Media, you would see hundreds of forms in here because I use them after every single conference. I put them in there for people to fill out, and I can also get questions and answers to segment them into lists from there. Like, are you interested in event management, marketing, communications, being an influencer? So then from here, you also have workflows. And I don't know if we really have any workflows here. Yeah, these are all paused. So like lead magnet deliveries are kind of fun. So we've done one where we like did a delivery of a gift card, and I think or a coupon, like a gift certificate. And
Oh,
so
sure.
when you put your email address in, so what you got for giving us your email address was this gift certificate or like coupon, I guess is probably the better quote, like a coupon off. And so once you put your information in, so thank you for sending it over, then it sends you your coupon. And then it like followed up a couple days later if you hadn't actually purchased yet and was like, are you interested in like this artist, or this? And it was actually, I think, Spotify playlists for each day. And depending on what they clicked, we add them into a new segment, and then that would drop them through and roll through there. So we don't get as deep in those. I don't use Flodesk for checkouts. You can look at your audience and your analytics from there. So this is going to be like your audience. You can add your CSV from MailChimp, which is just your comma separated values, just a spreadsheet, and you put them all in there. With Flodesk, you can see your quick results on just by clicking that little tab right there. But what I normally do once I have a template that I like, this is my template for here. You can share it as a template, resend it to unopens. But for today, I'm actually just going to duplicate it because I'm going to use it just to make a new one. And I'll put the date on here. So looking back in my email blast, June 18th, I just always do the date. I have a good like system. So I just put the date in here. And then the topics for that one are going to be the Tune It Up Tuesday and new music. So I have SKUs for everything too. So don't judge all my weird idiosyncrasies. So we can do that. And then you just jump in here and you hit edit. And am I still on the same page with you guys, or did it jump me? Okay, perfect. So I can come in here and edit pretty easily. I'm actually going to pull that over here. Just realized I have multiple screens. I might as well get this content here. So for this one, the big part about this is like this email specifically is it's targeted at the voting for the Battle of the Bands. So I'll probably rename like Get Ready to Vote, Battle of the Bands. And I don't like how that's formatted, so we can kind of, change it up however you want and play with it. Like it's like super easy here. So one of the ones I'm going to do is like an update for the Battle of the Bands. So I can jump in here and say I could leave as a holding space like Battle of the Bands update. I could also, copy and paste information from the website on the rules. And then from there, we'll probably update this into a photo of people at the event, or we could put the 4-part figure in for everyone who was there, keep the link the same. And then this link is segmenting. So over here on the side, this is how I add the link in on the right-hand side. And then I can add the segment that I want them to be a part of. So it's pretty easy there. You can also add an action, like add to workflow, remove from workflow, or set a custom field value, which I think is really fun.
That is
Um,
handy.
I know, yeah. It's the easiest one I've found when it comes to email software is to just do everything. And if you want to change these colors and stuff, it's all over here and it's visual. Like, do I want my button to look like that? Like, change this up, right? Exactly how you want it, which is super nice. And then my next one was we want to do a launch for the app. So we'll probably jump in here and I'll build a graphic in Canva and probably just put the photo in here. So let's just maybe do a placeholder, boom, image. If I wanted to update that photo, I'd click here. If you want to, you can do an upload image, or you could also do Unsplash, or you can go directly to your Canva account, which we did find out. It says new Madeline. She was like, "Did you know you can connect it to Canva?" And I said, "Excuse me, what?" So there it is. You can also put a GIF in there as well. Um, See if they have anything for an app. Food is on its way. We can just have some fun here. Um, like here we are. Look, like how easy is this, you guys? Like
I
we change
love that it's all right there. You don't have to click off from what you're doing to add in an image or upload anything. Makes it super nice.
And then, yeah, so it's just like, I don't know, it's just super fun. And you can put in the placeholders too, right? So this is where it'll say, like, hi, Katie, or hi, Madeline, or hi, Tanya, hi, Charles, whatever, whatever you put your name in for this. And then just replace this content here. We could do a volunteer sign up. I use these as like my call to actions. I can delete them and grab them as you go. I always try to have some sort of little banner ad at the bottom. So whether that's like buy tickets or save the date, whatever it might be, stomping schedule can stay the same. I might change the colors on it if I want to. But let's say maybe I don't want this one in here. I just delete. We're done. Ooh, I don't like this color breakdown. Let's just jump over here, go to the block. We can change it to, let's change it to the orange. Like, what color is this? Copy. Everyone's probably like, I hate you. You're trying to make this sound like it's so easy. It is, guys. It really is. Paste. There it is. Let's change this one too.
Which, if you go back, like it looks really fast, and Katie's got these colors down. But if you go back to one of maybe our first webinar, we do talk about like having a brand book basically together so that you know your colors. You can have it set when you design your template. You're not
Exactly.
wasting time figuring out your colors. So that's all part of branding. It's so important. But once you get these templates built, like she literally just duplicated this. That's
Yes.
is editing it to fit what she needs for this email. So such a time saver. You're not having to build it every single time.
And one of my favorite things here is like we're looking at it in desktop view. Well, like let's look at it as a phone,
I love that. Yeah.
right? Like there's the phone, here's your desktop, perfect, right? And then you can always see like I have clients, we work in the natural resources and in the Western industries. Like I have clients that most people do open them on desktop. Wild. You told that to any other marketer in mainstream marketing, they'd be like, "You're crazy. People always open on their phones." No, they don't. They actually don't.
Uh,
And then you can jump in here and set who the email is coming from. You can have up to 2 emails in there. Um, you can change your subject line and such. And then from there, this is when we get nervous. So this is who we've got chosen.
no, we lost her. Let's see if we can get Katie back on. She's
So,
back.
oh no, it got weirdly quiet for a split second. I said, "Oh no, I just get lost." So I was just saying, like, you can jump in here and you can add segments in. And so, like, we could do people who go to the Tuesday event. This is like for one specifically, and then you could do like the battle of the bands here. and do that way, and then just hit save, and then so it's gonna say send to everybody who's in Tune It Up Tuesday except for the contestants, right?
Hey, Katie, I think we lost your shared screen. So I don't know
Oh,
if they can see that.
perfect.
But
Well, you did lose it. Look, I'm back on this tab. Yeah, you guys did lose it. Let me see if I can reshare it back to you guys. I should have known when it flashed. It was like, "Do you want to turn your reactions back on?" And I was like, "Why would it ask that? Why would it ask that?" Okay.
so while you're talking about that, you were talking about who you wanted to send it to. We'll just kind of
Mhm.
jump to segmentation strategy. Like, what are some segmentations that you think would probably fit for a lot of people? I mean,
I
there's
think
so many ways you can break it up, right?
yes. Um, Start small and get used to it is the first thing. Like I think the rule that I always say when it comes to social media, I'm like, just start with one and master it. Then find the next one that kind of fits in line with it. Like if you're good at Facebook, if you're better at text than imagery, then maybe you go to X next, like use what used to be called Twitter. Like if you're better with imagery or video, then maybe you go to Instagram next. If you're really good at vertical video, maybe you go TikTok next, or like, vice versa. If you're really good at TikTok, then you go to YouTube. So with that being said, do the same thing here. Like get in the habit of sending your standard emails. And then what I would do is I would send like four, whether that's over 4 months or two a month, right? I would send four, and then I would look at your analytics and see what link people clicked on. And then I would start building your lists off of that. And you could just go ahead and pre segment those lists of stuff, but you don't need to worry about them. What I would do is after that four, maybe you send two more while you're doing that research, and you're like, hey, you know what? We have we have a rodeo, and there's a lot of people who keep clicking on the trail ride that's like 3 months before. Like they keep clicking on the trail ride. So one of the things I think is really interesting is like then I would make the trail ride link, right? 10 things to pack for the trail ride. And you could even have a packing list that you put on your social media and people can download it, but they put their email address in, they get the download, and boom, you got them in a workflow. And boom, you got more people on your trail ride. And they're also going to be in your standard email that goes to everybody too, but you're also going to send them the pertinent things they want to know about the trail ride that kicks off or the stampede that kicks off the rodeo. And that could be your parade for the rodeo. That could be bourbon tasting for your guest ranch. That could be a um, Dr. Seuss Day reading day for your nonprofit. Like it can be anything like that. So I would definitely just let your research come to you. Like let the stats come to you and then act accordingly. Because like I think it's Jenna Kutcher with the Gold Digger podcast was like helping her husband with his fitness company and was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a grocery list, and we're going to do at-home workouts, and we're going to do gym workouts, and we're going to see which one does the best. And out of left field, it was the grocery list. And it was like, oh, people want more about nutrition than they do about like workouts. So it can tell you a lot about what people want. And the same thing can be true if you look at your analytics on your website. I use that as well to figure out segmentations, like what are people looking for? And then I try to figure out some way to get their email address. And like that's what that one email address form was for. I believe that is actually potentially on our volunteer page. And so those are people that are intentionally going there from like social media or from a post to the website, and they're like, sign up if you want more information. And so we're building them as like potential volunteers.
Sure. Okay. So definitely kind of summarizing what she said, you kind of have to test your audience, right? Like you've got every list is different. So depending on what your business is and what you're selling, every list is different. And so that's why analytics are so fun. And I'm sure people are probably rolling their eyes at that, but they're going to help you. If you pay attention to those numbers, they're more than just numbers. They will help you. They will tell you what your audience wants to see.
Well, and one of the things too, when it comes to AI that makes your life a little bit easier, like is the scheduling part. So when it comes to scheduling, I always try to schedule, and I think this might be industry wide, is like Tuesday to Thursday because your Mondays and Fridays are not times you want to be on your phone. Monday, you're on your phone or computer too much answering work emails. Friday, you're trying like heck to get out of Dodge. So depending on the client too, like, gosh, my music festival client and my county fair clients during The Voice or American Idol, hit them with that email like 10 minutes before, and they're totally going to read it. Like, they're going to sit there out there on their couch and they're going to read about the music industry before watching the music industry reality TV. So it's like always fun like that. And you can find little like components with it when you do that, or you could send it Tuesday and resend it the Wednesday after and get a vibe if Tuesday's better than Wednesday. Like, resend it unopened. But one thing about Flodesk that I really like is that if you want to send it at a later time, so let's say this was going to be on the 18th, I can ask it for the best time. So like best time for morning is
You
6:22
put that on
a.m.
your main screen,
Ooh,
maybe?
it looks like it's on my mainstream on mine.
Oh, okay, that's all
I don't know
right.
if
We'll
it'll
go
move.
on with it.
Let me shuffle and see if it does anything. Did that change?
It did.
Ooh, am
Try
I
it one
there?
more time.
Who's main? Who's on the main screen right now for you?
You.
Oh, how about now?
No, but that's all right. We'll just roll with it.
Dang it.
Um,
I think last time I did this though, it looked the way I see it on
yes,
the after
yeah.
recording.
But the cool thing
No.
is this is where the AI comes in because you can schedule this out. So then we're talking about batching content, right? You can work ahead and get 6 emails or however many emails you want to do, whether it's, 3 or whatever. You can get so many emails ahead, but you can schedule it and it's not a guessing game because it'll help you read your audience. And
Yes.
there's a lot of things that do this, but Flodesk will help you tell you the best times to send for open rates, correct?
Mhm. Oh, yeah, yeah, and so that's what it tells you, like, your best it just tells you when your audience typically opens their emails, and then we'll schedule you I believe it's 20 like, 15 to 20 minutes before, so everything gets delivered right before they'd open their email anyway. One of my favorite things, though, is, like, someone was like, "Well, how could AI even know you that well?" And I'm like, "Well, if you actually, like, if you listen to Spotify, if you've ever looked at your day list and been like, oh, that song's so" like, the smart shuffle where it will, like, put in other songs you might like, and you're, "Oh, I love this song." Yeah, we're pretty predictable as humans, unfortunately. Like, we like to think we can be unpredictable, don't get me wrong, but we're pretty predictable.
Uh, there's other really cool scheduling features though with Flowdesk as well. So, and Katie could probably speak to this a little bit more, but there's just a lot of advanced scheduling options with it as far as being a predictable human.
Yes. Yes, so you can put everything in there. It will also give you the same predictive, like, times. Like, that was just, like, a standard email that we're sending. So when you're doing your workflow automation, so, that welcome sequence, there is triggers in between them is what they call them, and a trigger is, like, when you sign up, you get added to this list, and then it's like, "Well, what's the trigger?" I'm like, "Well, once you're signed to the list, then you can put a delay in, and it will tell you, like, based on your audience demographic, like, how long should that delay be?" It'll give you recommendations on it. And I really enjoy that because it hasn't failed me yet. Like, you can set them yourself if there's a reason, like, oh, every Tuesday I want it to drip to them with this next email in the flow. Or it can be like, hey, this person specifically is on their email a lot and will probably want to get the final call to action. So it's like, it'll be like, have it be 6 hours or have it be the next day or have it be, if they click this button, then they continue in that workflow. And if they don't click that button, then they just move to standard. And I think that's really helpful. Definitely a higher level. So like we could always do another webinar series on that specific or like a webinar on that specifics for it. But the fact that like once you start to get the hang of it, the fact that it will do all of that is pretty cool, I think.
That's super handy. And I don't know that I mean, I know other email providers will do
Mhm.
that, but I just so far, and like I said, I've worked with MailChimp, I've worked with a lot of different ones. Katie showed me Flowdesk, and I'm sold, you guys. Like,
Well, I
I'm
will
really sold.
say the probably one of the most common email things that everybody else has that I don't think Flowdesk has is A/B testing. Which for me, that's okay. I'll survive without it. A/B testing, for those who aren't familiar, is where you get to put like two different subject lines, or you can even like I have a very high end software right now that I can actually even change the content or like reorganize the content in the A/B. And what it does is it sends it out to your most correct me if I'm wrong on this, how I understand it, A/B testing sends out to like your top like 5% or 10% most active email subscribers, and it sends it evenly, and whichever one gets clicked the most to open fastest, it will then send that specific option of option A, option B. It will send that to everybody because it's deemed that that's going to be the most successful for open rates, which is really cool if you have like multiple things. Like maybe I put that battle of the bands for the subject for one, and I started it at the top with like what's happening with Battle of the Bands. But then on option B, I could be like the Stampede Tour wraps up at the Reno Rodeo, and I would put that section at the top instead of the Battle of the Bands. It would send it out to that percentage. So let's say, for make it easy, like 10 and 10. And it's like, oh, 7 of 10 opened the Stampeder one versus 2 of 10 opened the Battle of the Bands. So they're like, your audience would be more interested in the Stampeders. So it sends the Stampeder version to everybody. So only 10 people would have gotten the email that was like, Battle of the Bands.
Yeah. That is a handy feature. I do think you can get away without it. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're like, holy cow, they send so many emails. Like, I don't have time for that many emails. I get it. Katie said it before. I'm just going to reiterate it. Like, consistency is key. I have some folks that I'll help them, and I'm like, just do one email a month. One email. Start with one email a month. And then from there, you can build out your segmentation. Like
Mhm.
Katie said, you can figure out what other more specific emails you can send out and include. But just start with consistency. Because, like we said before, this audience, they want to hear from you. They opted in to receive this. So
Yeah.
um, you can get spammy with emails. I encourage you not to, but just start with one email a month, and this is your way to connect with those people and increase those sales.
The only time I would say that you would start not having like even one a quarter, like a seasonal one, is if like you have a podcast, like something that's creating content on its own. Like our podcast, we had a weekly show and we would send out like a weekly email. This was years ago. So like now that I have spent a deeper year, 2 years in emails, like I honestly probably would send one roundup a month to everybody. And then based off what they clicked, like whether they clicked the blog stories, the rodeo specific stories, or the podcast specific stories, I would add them to a segmentation list. Now, a lot of emails programs that I've used, you can only add somebody to one email segment when they click something, but Flodesk does let you do multiple. So like I could do a podcast that's about a rodeo athlete, and I could say rodeo athlete and podcast. Like I could do rodeo and podcast for it and put them into both lists. And then that way I'm like, okay, well, if they're in the podcast list, then I'll send it to the pod, like I'll send the podcast weekly one to everybody. But if you're just in the rodeo one, then I will only send like the rodeo specific podcast ones to you, or the NFR daily updates like that we do. So you can definitely like, I would cheat. Like I said, I'd probably just do quarterly. That was
Yeah,
the case.
just get started. Make that list. Own your digital footprint.
Yeah.
But with that, we do want to remind you this is a wrap up of our. It's so sad, I know. This
It's
is a
weird.
wrap up of our four part. Have we done this
Yeah.
4 times? Yeah.
4 parts, 8
Series.
weeks. 1
Yeah.
presentation, 8 weeks. 4 software
uh,
systems.
we've had a lot of fun. We've learned a lot along the way. Uh, well, I imagine
We've
we'll probably
also
be back.
validated too. That's been the big part, I think, is there's a lot of things that we do because we're so busy that we're like, yeah, this works. And then actually sitting down and being like, this is why it works has been really helpful, I think.
It has, yes. So, well, I'm sure we'll be back with more. So, if you guys have things that you want to learn about, other topics, hit us up. Let us know.
Hit us with an
Uh,
email. I'm gonna hit you with an email survey. I do know I was talking to my assistant Emily, and we will send out one final big e-blast, the irony of everything, all the recordings, all of the work, like the branding workbook, everything, just in case for some reason if you didn't get it, or if you like saw it at the time and said I'll download that later and then lost it in your emails. I've done that before. So we're gonna send you one big list one last time, and then we'll take the summer off for our 27 days of events and 40 days for the next 2 months, and then potentially we'll come back in the fall and we'll do some more.
Yeah. Um, and then with that, remember, if you guys want some more personalized help, we do have a package that we offer with just some flexible consulting. You can get two brains instead of just one. But
I will
but
say I have some people that are doing this, and I should have had them give over some accounts because I was like, or testimonial, because one of them, well, they're all doing super well, but they're like almost like they're doing too well. And I love to see it. So it's actually really surprising. This was the common theme from the 4 people that I've been working with routinely, just like jumping in into mastermind meetings, getting to-do lists and support in getting your marketing strategy, whether it's social media focused, influencer focused, whatever it may be, been really fascinating because their ROI has been incredible. Their confidence has been incredible. And most of them are just like, I had no idea. They're like, I just thought it would be like a little bit of support because I was feeling really overwhelmed. And now they're like dominating. And I actually love to see that. So we would love to help you guys
yes,
up your
yeah,
game.
100%. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you when we see you. But we will be sending you an email.
Yeah, we'll send you an email for sure. So thank y'all.